What's up guys, MainManSWE here, hoping you're all doing awesome as always, and me, I'm doing good, although yesterday was a pretty weird day for me, to say the very least. There was an enormous social media meltdown where I heard from left and right that I had really fucked up and that I was, all kinds of things. Basically, I was a bad person. So I thought I could just take a little video here to try and clear things up, and maybe if you've missed it, you can hear what happened, and I can just get my point of view out there. And I can say immediately that what started it all was a tweet. I really dislike Twitter, try to stay away from it as much as I can, but there was a tweet interaction with the god himself, TheMainManSWE. I interjected with a response to something he said, and he responded a certain way. I'm gonna go through it all. And in that particular scenario, I feel like I did nothing wrong whatsoever. But that started this like snowball effect of like endless of tweets about me being a scrub man. I think it meant scrub man. By all kinds of people, and pretty big like community heads, like pretty large figures in the community, and I was just blown away by the whole thing. But very unwise of me, just half an hour after the fact, that TheMainManSWE tweets that, I start a stream, and I stream for 5 hours, and that blows up, and I get a lot of, stream monsters, people coming to my stream to troll, etc. And I said something pretty damn insensitive, which I am going to apologize for, although there is a clip going around that is very much clipped out of context. If you watch the entire stream, you'll understand more my point of view, but it was still insensitive, and that was me being a little bit tired and disgruntled, but I do apologize. I'm gonna get into all of it. I just wanted to, very quickly explain what has happened. But so the start of it all was TheMainManSWE responding to a clip on Twitter of Geese doing something absurd. I mean, we know he can do crazy stuff, and Akuma as well, those 2D characters. And TheMainManSWE wrote, "I hope guest character disappears next time. They were unfair." And that's a pretty reasonable opinion to hold, right? He wants them gone. They were unfair. But I was like, oh, come on, this really doesn't take in the whole picture. I was like, this is not satisfying to me. I want to start a debate. I kind of like debating. So I wrote to him just to, from complete left field, give a different take on it. I wrote, "Yes, let's rob 6 million people of cool guest characters because 2 of them are problematic at the absolute highest level of play." So my point was basically to stress that just because in the highest level of play Akuma and Geese are problematic, should really 6 million people be without them? Remember that the highest level of play in Tekken, it's literally a couple of hundred of players. Literally. Or maybe 1,000 or 2,000. EVO 2019, 2,000 players. Like biggest Tekken tournament ever. That's still like 0.0001% of the people who bought the game. It's a tiny little minority. Does that justify removing those characters from everyone else? And here you might say, well, Akuma is problematic at all levels of play. We have the data. His win-loss ratio online isn't very spectacular at all. In fact, Leroy is completely obliterating the win-loss data. And Fakum Ram, Zafina, Claudio, though Fakum Ram and Leroy, I would say, are way more problematic and unfair at all levels of play. And TheMainManSWE himself likes to play Steve. I mean, Steve in Season 2, was he fair? In my opinion, he really wasn't. So is this exclusive to the 2D characters? Can't we just tone them down a little bit more? Do we have to remove them, really? And guest characters are a proven business model, Tekken players are getting older and older. We want fresh blood to come in. And Akuma generated a lot of hype for this game. And you see guest characters in Mortal Kombat, Soul Calibur, it's Star Wars. Of course, it's a good thing to have. So that was all I wanted to stress. And then he responded, "Is it a character that come out because 6 million people wanted it? It's just a wish that it didn't come out. Hey, hella scrub man, will you shut up? Obviously he meant scrub man. There's either it's a typo or it's an autocorrect. In any way, I was a little bit taken aback, to say the least. I thought it was like a troll account, but I realized it was me calling me scrub man, telling me to shut up. And I was like, you know, with all due respect, I thought it was a little bit childish. I thought he could have given me an interesting debate instead. But you know what? That's my opinion. You can take that however you want. But what followed there was like a Twitter mob, basically, you know, coming down on me, telling me I was owned by me, I should shut up, I'm a piece of shit. And I was like, okay, I guess I was owned. Yeah, I thought the whole thing was like kindergarten, to be honest. But yeah, okay, so that happened. And then we can get to the part where, you know, I messed up. I fucked up. I was in the wrong. And it was during my stream where I'm going to show the clip and then I'll talk about it. And spent some time there years ago. The Korean scene is the dirtiest and ugliest Tekken scene in the world. But people don't know about it because when they show up to tournaments, they're all like this. And they play elegant like this, and they smile, and they never trash talk, they never boo, they never shout, they never gloat, they're always... But it's a facade. And now you saw the clip, and that is very insensitive. I was wrong to say that. I apologize. But I would just like to give my little point of view here, because this is clipped a little bit out of context, to say the very least. I definitely do not mean to say that everyone in the Korean Tekken scene is a douchebag. I choose to believe that everyone, or most people who watch my content, understand that I don't think Korean Tekken players, that they are all douchebags. It's the complete opposite. Some of the kindest people in this community I've ever met are from the Korean Tekken scene. Includes JDCR, who I could never ever say a bad thing about. He's just an angel. He has always graced me with his time. Every time I've had the opportunity, he's always given me time. So the point I was trying to make during that specific point in my stream, answering a viewer's question, was just this interesting contrast, an interesting sort of awakening I had following, you know, Korean players over the years, going to international events or playing in their own tournaments. And I'd always felt they were such a role model in terms of like sportsmanship, being gentleman-like, always so humble. I was like, man, the Korean Tekken scene is such an inspiration. Imagine if everyone was like that. You know, it was like holy to me. They were so, you know, respectful. And then when I had pushed that notion on a couple of streams, certain people reached out to me and told me like, oh, you know, not everything is saint-like here, you know, and not everyone is saints. There are a lot of good people, but there's a lot of fucking problems here as well. And they have been documented on Tekken channel, the Korean Tekken website, Tekken Zaibatsu. Korean Tekken players have talked to me. You have very respected Tekken players who've spent countless years in Korea playing Tekken have also talked to me. And yeah, a lot of really nasty stuff went down. So that was the point I was trying to make, but I worded it in the poorest way possible. And it's so aggressive and it's really distasteful, and I very much apologize for saying that. I should never have worded it like that. And yeah, that was me off the cuff, being heated on my stream and being aggressive, I guess. After, yeah, it was not an easy stream. It was not an easy time, but it simply does not excuse expressing myself in such a way. So I apologize for that. So that was my point of view on this whole thing. I hope you understand now what my thoughts were and where I'm coming from. And yeah, I want to thank you for listening to me, and have a nice day.